Good morning and welcome to Clark Atlanta University's 2017 Founders Day Convocation. Please quiet your hearts and minds as Mr. John Goodwin, Chair of the University's Chapel Assistants and a member of the class of 2018, delivers the invocation.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we thank you for letting us see another day filled with potential and pregnant with possibilities. We gather today as a united community, even though we come from different backgrounds, different cultures, and different worldviews. Thank you for creating us in your image, yet somehow all so unique. God, be with us as we join together today in celebration of this great institution, Clark Atlanta University. And do not let us forget that you are in control no matter what we face. Help us remember that your unchanging, never-ending love is free to us, and make that knowledge carry us through all the crazy adventures that we have this semester. Help us remember that this is our time to find ourselves, chase our dreams, and not be discouraged. Remind us that every experience presents an opportunity to learn. Let us embrace our circumstances without fear or regrets, and take every chance we can to grow together. Be with us today and throughout the coming years. God, we thank you for all of the ancestors of Atlanta University, Clark College, and Clark Atlanta University, because without their dedication and hard work, we will not be able to do the work that we were called to do. Bless the administration, faculty, and staff, and the students of this great institution. Help us remember to excel on the largest possible scale and keep scholarship, respect, and integrity at the front of our minds. For these blessings and all blessings, in the love and light of Christ, we shall pray. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Goodwin. And again, I welcome you to our annual Founders Day Convocation. To alumnae Helen Price-Smith, Helen Smith-Price, sorry, Jackie Reed, and Krista Underwood, our esteemed convocation panelists, to our double alumna and secretary of our Board of Trustees, Dr. Dolores P. Aldridge, to the double alumnus and CAU Alumni Association National President, Marshall Taggart, to all of our alumni representing Clark, Atlanta University, and our parent institutions, Clark University, Atlanta University, and Clark College, to the Clark Atlanta University class of 2017. I want to hear them. Hello, 2017? Soon to be the newest members of the alumni family, and to the strong, determined scholars who comprise the graduate and undergraduate student bodies of Clark Atlanta University. To our student leaders represented by the Clark Atlanta Student Government Association Graduate President Stacy Roberson. Stacy, okay. To our undergraduate President Adrian Artery. And Ms. CAU, Alicia McLeod, and members of the Royal Court, will you all please stand and be recognized? To our dedicated faculty and staff, to the members of my executive cabinet, to the distinguished guests, friends, and associates, including a number of people who have come and graced us this morning, and I'd like to begin by noting that we are graced this morning with the very First Lady of Clark Atlanta University, Dr. Brenda Cole. We are also joined today on the stage with Trustee Carolyn Young. He's on his way, so I'll say his name now. Trustee Calvin Briggs, he is driving from Birmingham, and of course, he has run into Atlanta traffic. And then Reverend Yvette Massey, Central United Methodist Church, is also here with us today. And of course, without a doubt, one very, very special person to me and to this university, my wife, First Lady of Clark Atlanta University, Irene Johnson. I'm honored to welcome each and every one of you. Please join me in welcoming a very special group so deserving of our congratulations, our 2017 SIAC champions, the Clark Atlanta University's men's basketball team, under the leadership of Coach Darryl Walker. Stand up, Panthers. You know, I had the opportunity to go to many of the games and was unable to be at the last game of the season because I had to be in Washington. But I watched these young men play, and they put the D in defense, you watch them, and when the ball would go to the strong side, there was always 2 players on top of the ball. And then the other 3 players were always alert, looking at the passing lanes, and nothing got past them. And so, they would surge, they would grapple, they would show grit, and I really, truly say that they have been wonderful representatives of our institution. And now the Clark Atlanta University Choir, under the direction of Dr. Curtis Powell, will perform the concert version of Lift Every Voice and Sing, written by alumnus James Weldon Johnson and arranged by his brother, also an alumnus, John Rosamond Johnson. Following their performance, Trustee Dolores Aldridge, CAU alumni, and CAU alumni National President Marshall Taggart will deliver greetings, and they will then be followed by our provost, who will tell us about the occasion.
Stony the road we trod, bitter the chase we sought, felt in the days when one treading our path through the blood of the slaughter, out of the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of a bright star is cast. Keep us forever in the path we pray. Bless our feet straight from the places our God where we met thee. Bless our hearts drunk with the wine of the world we forget thee. Shadow beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our names and land.
President Johnson, members of the dais, esteemed alumni, faculty, staff, and honored guests, beloved students of Clark Atlanta University. It is my privilege to greet you on behalf of the Clark Atlanta University Board of Trustees. Our commitment to this hallowed institution is clearly conveyed in the convocation theme, Undaunted, Undeterred, Undenied, lifting every voice. I uphold my charge this morning by greeting you with the words of the brilliant novelist Richard Wright, who reminds us that men can starve from a lack of self-realization as much as they can from a lack of bread. And so in this hour, be intentional, beloveds, feast upon the realization that through history's darkest midnights, we found a way or made one undaunted. When our intellect and creativity were stifled and scorned, we were undeterred in articulating our genius, creating a gloriously rich culture that continues to serve all of humanity. Even now, as others endeavor to suppress our hard-won citizenship, we will exercise it undenied. We shall not be battered by waves of change. We are destined to create them. Good morning, Clark Atlanta University.
I think she dropped the mic. Let's give her a round of applause. Trustee Dolores Aldrich, alumna. It is my honor to greet you on behalf of the Clark Atlanta University's National Alumni Association, where we have 33,000 alumni all around the world. Graduates of Clark Atlanta University, Clark University, Atlanta University, and Clark College share so much more than history. We share an intellectual pedigree. We share a collective consciousness rooted in an insistence upon justice. We share a sense of purpose born of the ideas undergirding our parent institutions, the embrace of truth, fortitude of spirit and service to others. Beyond these shared values, we understand that our collective power rests in what we reinvest in our alma mater. So I greet you on this morning with the assurance that we are fully and unequivocally committed to investing in your success. And how do we do that? We did that this weekend. Our Spirit of Greatness Gala honored such luminary alumni, such as Kenya Barris, the creator of the show Blackish. Mr. President, I'm proud to let you know, as well as your cabinet and the Board of Trustees, that we were able to raise more than $125,000 net to give to Clark Atlanta University beginning next fall. Now, you can do more than that. Thank you. Of course, our time, talent, and treasure are fundamental elements of alumni support, and we will continue to share these directives. We also will invest a far more valuable resource, our wisdom. Students, I remind you that is in this room, there are thousands of years of experience. Can the alumni who are here today please stand and be recognized? If you are an alumni of Clark Atlanta University, Clark College, Atlanta University, Clark University, you may be seated. Please, after the program, go up to alumni and engage with them because they are here to share their life experiences. In this room are strategies for battles fought and won, so you will never have to fight them. In this room are career networks and life hacks you never knew existed, like the three alumni who are going to embrace and talk with you today. We offer this to you freely so that you can go into the world and change it for the better. Undaunted, Undeterred, and Undenied. Thank you for listening, and again, welcome to the Convocation.
Trustee Aldridge and a National Alumni President Target, we thank you both for your undenying loyalty to Clark Atlanta University. Let's give them a round of applause again. Mr. President, my friends, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the tradition of Founders Day dates back to the establishment of Clark Atlanta University in 1988. On this day, we honor our dual parentage and the indelible, enduring legacies of our forebears. Atlanta University, founded in 1865, and Clark College, which was founded as Clark University in 1869. In honoring our past, we are cognizant of our responsibility to ensure that tomorrow bears the imprint of our intellectual and creative genius. So as we assemble here today, lifting every voice, we rehearse the great chorus of our prestigious legacy, celebrating those whose contributions compel us to continue in our great mission. We lift our voices, mindful that resistance is not new to us. Our beloved university stands as a monument to those who boldly resisted racism and disenfranchisement. Today we honor them, not simply as a matter of ceremony, but as a demonstration of our gratitude. Our feet are still planted firmly upon their shoulders. On this occasion, we rededicate our hearts and minds to buffet unceasing waves of change. Today, we fortify our resolve to discover new oceans of possibility, chart new courses for global collaboration and competitiveness, navigate new paradigms, and above all, advance ideas that matter. Alumnus James Weldon Johnson reminds us, we have come over a way that with tears has been watered. He exhorts us to march on till victory is won. And so today, my friends, we lift up an institutional agenda that is unapologetically transformative, designed to conquer whatever waves come our way, always propelling our students towards academic and career success, undaunted, undeterred, and undenied. Thank you very much again, and welcome to this important day in our lives.
Thank you, Dr. Wusu. Before continuing, I ask all of the alumni, once again, all of the alumni of Clark University, Atlanta University, and Clark Atlanta University to please stand and to receive our adoration. Thank you. You may be seated. It's really important to note that we, including me as president, are really the caretakers of this esteemed institution, but our alumni are the owners. And so we must recognize them because they are critical to the continued success of this institution. Of course, we look forward to celebrating our golden sons and daughters, the 50th anniversary class of 1967. That'll happen during May weekend, commencement week in May. In addition to the golden class of 1967, there are two very special alumni recognitions we want to share today. First, it gives me great pleasure to welcome the silver anniversary reunion class of 1992. The class of 1992 began their matriculation at the establishment of CAU in 1988, and therefore they hold a special distinction of being the inaugural class of Clark Atlanta University. As of today, these alumni also hold the distinction of being the first class to celebrate their reunion during the university's annual Founders Day observance. Class of 1992, would you please stand? Thank you very much. Please be seated. Class of 92, let us recall for a brief moment the senior year at Clark Atlanta University. In 1992, George Herbert Walker Bush was the nation's 41st president, and Maryland Congressman Kwesi Mfume was the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. The Honorable Maynard Jackson was mayor of Atlanta, and of course, I knew Maynard Jackson. I was one of the people who would go and have ice cream with him whenever I came to town. Let's get these pounds. The national average university tuition, room and board that year was $8,934. Much to your chagrin over there, these guys. You might have watched the final episode of The Cosby Show in your dorm on April 30th, 1992, and you most likely cheered Whitney Houston's screen debut in The Bodyguard during the week of November 25th. For the record, the number one Billboard R&B hit 25 years ago, I can't believe this, was Diamonds and Pearls by Prince and the New Power Generation. 25 years ago, gosh. The average salary for a college graduate was $41,355, and that was for a male graduate. Unfortunately for women, it was only $30,326. A new home cost an average of $144,100 at that time. The world has definitely changed, though, over the last 25 years. Nevertheless, your presence, the class of '92, is a testament to your resilience, vibrancy, and abiding love for this institution. To say that we sincerely love you, we also say that we welcome you home. Okay, I'm going to do. At this point, we have a special recognition, and I'm going to prepare for that. Hold on. All right. I presume I take this one. Is this, hello? Yes. Working. There's one more very special recognition. Our Alumni Relations Office in 2013 established the CAU Alumni Centennial Club, celebrating graduates who have reached their 100th birthday. Today, we are honored to welcome Ms. Charity Barnes, who earned the Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and graduated in the Clark College class of 1949. Mrs. Barnes celebrated her 103rd birthday on December 11th, 2016. It's unbelievable. Yes. Joining us are a number of her former students, including Mayor William Evans, who traveled from Sparta, Georgia, to celebrate with her. And I want to thank her because he was one of her students. Mayor Evans, as a catalyst in establishing the Charity Barnes Scholarship Fund at Clark Atlanta University, we also want to thank you for your support in helping us preserve Ms. Barnes' legacy. And so I ask you, Mayor, if you would join me in the presentation. Yes, Okay. Ms. Barnes. Ms. Barnes, on behalf of the entire university community, it is my great honor and privilege to present you, in commemoration of your induction into the Clark Atlanta University Centennial Club on December 11, 2016, this handcrafted Frabel studio sculpture, an abstract of the eternal flame of wisdom as depicted in our institutional seal. We present this to you with our love and our richest blessings for your continued health and strength.
Mrs. Barnes, I want to share this very special commissioned sculpture for you, the Clark class of 1949. This sculpture rendering is an abstract of a flame and handcrafted by artisans of Atlanta's Frabel Studio and acquired by Clark Atlanta University in commemoration of induction to the Clark Atlanta University Centennial Club, December 11th, 2016, on your birthday. Presented this day, March 23rd, 2017. We are so grateful to have you here. Please give her a wonderful birthday round of applause.
And now, in tribute to our special alumni, the Clark Atlanta University Choir will perform the anthem, Ride On, King Jesus. Following their performance, Mr. Getchell Caldwell II, the university's Senior Vice President for Institutional Advancement and University Relations, will introduce our keynote conversation. Thank you.
Ride on, Jesus, ride. Ride on, Jesus, ride. Ride on, Jesus, ride. Ride on, Jesus, ride. Ride on, ride on, ride on, ride on, ride on, ride on, King Jesus, ride on, ride on, ride on, King Jesus. No man can hinder me. Ride on, King Jesus, oh ride on. No man cannot hinder me. Oh, ride on, King Jesus. No man can hinder me. Ride on, King Jesus, oh ride on. No man cannot hinder me. I once was young when I began. No man cannot hinder me. But now my race is almost done. No man cannot hinder me. Oh, ride on, Jesus. No man can hinder me. Ride on, King Jesus. Oh, ride on. No man cannot hinder me. Praise to the Lord, the Almighty, the King of creation.
morning. Or you all can do better than that. Good morning. Good morning. Mr. President, let's give another rousing round of applause to the Philharmonic Society. Under the direction of Dr. Curtis Everett Powell, as well as our university accompanist, Mr. Philip Scarrett, and also for the Clark Atlanta University Symphonic Band, led by alumnus Averill Taylor. Let's give them a round of applause as well. I would be remiss if I didn't simply say that this is a wonderful looking audience today, but more importantly, our students look great. Will all the students of CAU please stand? Don't they look great? Don't they look great? Thank you. No man can hinder me. No man can hinder me. These words characterize the professionalism, the integrity, and the depth of character of our keynote panel. Each member represents a slightly different era and offers a different perspective on their experiences and their evaluation of our alma mater. All three represent the strength and prominence that result from disciplined study, hard work, and as our president rightly described it, and he determines it as grit. Despite their elegant comportment, their conversational eloquence, and their grace, each of these women rose to daily and sharp-edged competitive hunger, which distinguishes them from their counterparts is that each has demonstrated in their own unique fashion that the definition of winning has less to do with individual success than it does with ensuring that others have a fair chance to succeed. Helen Smith Price. Let's give her a round of applause. Serves as Vice President of Global Community Affairs for the Coca-Cola Company and President of the Coca-Cola Foundation. She leads the foundation's global strategy, governance, and regulatory compliance for domestic and international philanthropy. Under her direction, the foundation gave back $73 million in 2015 and 2016 to enhance the environment, empower women, and enrich the well-being of people and communities. A 23-year veteran of the Coca-Cola Company, Helen served as executive director of the foundation since 2001. Prior to joining Coca-Cola, she held roles in audit, tax, accounting research, and financial management at Bell South Corporation. She began her professional career as an auditor and tax accountant with the Arthur Andersen and Company. She was licensed as a certified public accountant in the state of Georgia and earned a Bachelor's of Science degree in chemistry from Spelman College and a Master's of Business Administration from Clark Atlanta University. She currently serves on the Spelman College Board of Trustees, the Board of Counselors of the Carter Center, and is a member of a number of community boards, including the Woodruff Arts Center, Alliance Theater, the Villages at Carver Family YMCA, the Association of Corporate Contributors Professionals, the Corporate Contributions Council of the Conference Board, and the Nominations Committee for the United Way of Atlanta. Ladies and gentlemen, Helen Smith Price. Miss Jackie Reed. Jackie Reed is an Emmy Award-winning co-host of New York Live, NBC4 New York's lifestyle show, airing weekdays in New York City and in Boston. She also is a correspondent for the nationally syndicated Tom Joyner Morning Show, covering women and women's issues. In addition, she also covers entertainment and red carpet events for NBC and MSNBC, and is the creator and editor-in-chief of a lifestyle blog, The Jackie Reed Experience. You also might have seen her serving as a guest co-host on ABC's the view. Jackie grew up in Atlanta and graduated from Clark Atlanta University with a bachelor's degree in print journalism. She later received her master's degree in broadcast journalism from Northwestern University. She rose quickly through the ranks, moving from local news to the national stage, including her work at CNN and as lead anchor at BET News. She has interviewed President Bill Clinton and Barack Obama and has covered major domestic news, including the Republican and Democratic conventions, in addition to international news events from Mexico to South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Jackie Reed. And our moderator for today, Miss Krista Underwood. Fans of the popular Willie Moore Jr. show, which airs in 25 markets nationwide, they know her as Krista Lee. As if you like, and if you like them, you can't wait to hear the next top 3 Krista Lee countdown. Krista also is a Take No Prisoners entrepreneur and the brains behind 2 brands, Wake, Pray, Slay, and Slade Extensions. She is a dynamic motivational speaker and a dedicated role model and mentor of girls across the nation. Ladies and gentlemen, in honor of our Founders Day today, I present to you Ms. Krista Underwood, Ms. Jackie Reed, and Ms. Helen Price for our Founders Day panel.
Am I on? There I go. Hey, CAU, good morning. Are you awake? Yes. Are you ready for an amazing conversation? Yes or yes? Okay. I'm so honored to be here today. I graduated in 2010, so I'm not that far removed from here. So this is such an honor for me to be on this stage with these dynamic women. And so I just want to start it off by first saying that this conversation is just not about us. I definitely want you to get involved. So if you have a question, I would love for you to kind of hold it in your mind, and we're definitely going to talk with you because this is about you. So first, I just kind of want to scan the room. Where are my seniors at? There are seniors. What about juniors? Okay, I see you right there. What about sophomores? And the babies, where are the freshmen? Oh, wow. So we have a lot of all of you in here today. So this is going to be a great conversation. So I first want to start off with Miss Helen Smith Price, a dynamic Ebony Power 100. Just start off with an introduction and tell us about yourself.
So thank you, Krista. Can you hear me? Yes. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. It's always good to come home. And I'll try to tell the truth because I see so many people that know me and can correct some things.
Amen.
Ian Davis, my statistics professor at Atlanta University when I was there. But to Dr. Johnson, faculty and staff of Clark Atlanta University, to both the undergraduate and graduate students, to alumni and friends, I am so honored to join you, and I am humbled to partner with Jackie Reed in this special moment as we celebrate the 29th anniversary of the consolidation of Atlanta University and Clark College. Congratulations to the first graduating class of CAU. They're coming to correct something. Thank you. I would like to take...
And another one. Oh, there we go. I don't think this is on.
There we go. I would like to take a moment of privilege to acknowledge a few of my Coca-Cola colleagues who led this institution before, during, and after consolidation. Retired Executive Vice President Carl Ware, who led the Africa business for the Coca-Cola Company, served as chair of Clark College and as chair of the CAU Board of Directors, and guided the efforts to ensure successful consolidation. And Alex Cummings, also retired,
who ran our Africa business and chaired the CAU board, and Ingrid Saunders Jones, retired senior vice president of the company and chair of the Coca-Cola Foundation, who continues to serve on the CAU Board of Trustees. You know, I don't think I can step foot on this campus and not pause to remember the late Bishop Cornelius Linton Henderson. You know who that is. The Student Center is named for him. Well, he was a pastor, a friend, a mentor to my husband, Al Benny Price, who's also a CAU alum, and later to me and our son. In fact, Dr. Henderson performed our marriage ceremony, and Mrs. Dorothy Henderson is still a very important part of our family. Since I'm a product of this institution, I was asked to give you a snapshot of my career. So let me tell you where I have been, because my path is a little different, and where I am today is not where I thought I would be. I was born in Atlanta, attended great public schools, and I say public schools because we give them such a hard time. Not far from here, maybe about 4 miles from here in the Washington Park area, we've now renamed that community West Side. During my high school years at West Fulton, we lived in the Bankhead community, a neighborhood. Yeah, you know Bankhead. I am a Bankhead girl, okay? A neighborhood west of downtown Atlanta, Zone 1. You may know my community because of T.I. and the Bankhead Bounce and many other things. I'm sharing this with you because we quickly label people based on their zip codes and their police zones and their schools. And none of those factors determine your education level, your dreams, your jobs, or your experiences. You don't have to define your future based on where you come from. It's more important to gather all of the lessons learned and focus on where you're going. From my Atlanta public high school, I attended Spelman College on a full academic scholarship, majoring in chemistry, and I was on a journey to be a pharmacist, and then that didn't register after a while. And I later changed my goal to be a research chemist. About junior year, I realized I did not see chemistry as a career goal either. And I like numbers, so I enrolled in the introductory business courses as my electives. And I found my comfort zone when I took that very first accounting class. By that time, I was too close to graduation to change my major. My parents told me, we don't really care what you major in, but you better come out in 4 years, and we're not paying any more money because they gave you some money. So I graduated from Spelman with a BS degree in chemistry and headed straight across the street to Atlanta University. For an MBA with a concentration in accounting, and I began my career as an auditor and a tax accountant at Arthur Anderson and Company. I was licensed as a certified public accountant under the state of Georgia, and I later worked in tax and controllers and human resources and financial management for Bell South for about 9 years. I had an unusual invitation to interview for the Coca-Cola Company. And I'll say that again, it was an invitation. I did not apply. They invited me to come see them. And I was hired as director, and 23 years later, I now serve as Vice President of Global Community Affairs for the Coca-Cola Company and President of the Foundation. Now, when I graduated from college, or even when I graduated from graduate school, that's not where I thought I would be. I find myself here because of several amazing people
who guided, encouraged, sometimes pushed, sometimes pulled me. First, my parents. I was fortunate to have hardworking parents who believed in education and could see beyond the current moment or circumstances. They had realistic expectations for their 3 girls. I'm the middle of 3 girls. And they led us to believe we would do well if we were focused and committed. My parents also made sure we knew there were alternatives. If it feels wrong, try something else, but keep it moving. My dad made sure we understood decision-making and consequences. In a house full of girls, 3 girls, he did not tolerate crying or whining, particularly if your current predicament was due to your own actions. On the other hand, and even now, he makes sure that you know that he is always in your corner, no matter what. And that unconditional love adds a level of confidence that is really very hard to describe. I'm also here because I had 3 mentors, at least 3. I think I have more than that, but at least 3 mentors. And I think my first mentor was my high school counselor, a pink Cadillac driving counselor, Miss Dolores Cash, who played Scrabble with us during lunch. And you know, I'm in high school. I could not figure out why this woman had time to play games with us. And then later on, I understood that it was not only a great exercise in expanding our vocabularies, but it provided the time for Miss Cash to talk to us and coach us about school, behavior, and life. My other mentor was Dr. Johnny Clark, who I met on this campus. And she was chair of the accounting department at Atlanta University and later went on to be dean of the business school. Dr. Clark had consistent standards and expectations that we all understood. You did not come in her class late, and you did not come in her class unprepared. It was better for you not to be there if you did. She is a rock star in the accounting world and in the Atlanta community, and she was my role model. I wanted to be a CPA, and I had never met one until I hit graduate school. I had never met or seen what I wanted to be. And then there was Ingrid Saunders-Jones, who hired me 23 years ago at Coca-Cola. She was my boss for nearly 20 years, and it was an incredible journey. She continues to be an extraordinary mentor and sponsor. So that's my story. I'm a product of the Atlanta Public Schools, the Atlanta community, and HBCUs.
Thank you. And Miss Jackie Reed, if you could do the same.
Okay, and I think this one is working. Can you all hear me? Okay, so that was wonderful. So let me tell my story, and I'll keep it brief, not as well prepared as this lady here, but I just want to talk to you guys because I come on this campus, when we arrived on campus this morning, my eyes just filled with tears because I can remember so vividly being a student here and seeing so many young people with so much possibility ahead of you. It just fills my heart with such joy. Just a little bit about my story. I actually started my college career. I'm from Atlanta as well, from the Atlanta area. I'm actually from Decatur, where it's greater. Do people still say that? I went to Southwest DeKalb High School. So I was like, don't let me date myself saying Decatur where it's greater. But anyway, I actually started my college career at the University of Georgia, where things for me did not go well because I was so overwhelmed. It was like that movie, Get Out, The Sunken Place. I was just like, this is too much. And so I didn't thrive. You know, I was not that overachieving student that had scholarships and things like that. That was not me at all. So things didn't go well for me at the University of Georgia, and if it had not been for my mom, who's here in the audience, I would not have ended up at Clark Atlanta University, because my mother was like, you need to continue getting your education, because I was just like, ugh, I don't know what I want to do with my life. So I come to Clark, and I knew I wanted to major in journalism. I did figure that part out, because I started out thinking I wanted to be a lawyer, and I wasn't sure when I started my college career. So I came to Clark, and I knew at that point I wanted to be a journalist. I thought I wanted to be a print journalist, which is why my degree is in print journalism. But when I got to Clark, something in me changed based on the experience that I had. I found not only what I wanted to do with my career, but I found my confidence. I found it through the teachers, Mr. McJunkins being one of the main ones, who really not only taught us in the classroom, but really worked with who we were as students and really cared about us, and you could feel that. So by the time I graduated from Clark and went to Northwestern University for graduate school, oh, you couldn't tell me anything. There was, I couldn't hear the spoon tingling around the teacup like in that movie Get Out. I was very confident, and to this day, I'm very confident in my career, in the decisions that I make. I am in my office with the television show that I do, the only African-American person on our staff. It's a small staff, but I am one of 2 hosts on the show. And I do not shy away from being heard about how we cover things and the way that we approach various stories. And I'm very outspoken, to the point that it makes people in my office a little uncomfortable, but I don't care. But that confidence came from here. I mean, I'm really good friends with, you all know Joyanne Reed from MSNBC. We're all in the same building. Tamron Hall, who's not there anymore. But there are those of us, they call me the Harriet Tubman of the group. Out of all the African-American talent at MSNBC and NBC in that building, I'm like the main one that's like, we're not gonna stand for this. But that all came from being at Clark. I found my voice. And I found my confidence here, and I would not be doing what I am doing professionally if I did not come to this school. It changed my direction in so many ways, and I can't say it enough. I would not be doing half the things that I'm doing. So I come here with such gratitude in my heart, in addition to the joy that, when I look out and see these young faces, and I just hope that you all know the possibilities that are that are on this campus. I mean, you can do anything that you guys want to do. You just have to apply yourself. You have to stay focused, and really take advantage of the people, these teachers, these professors that are here to help you find your way, and their relationships that you'll continue for the rest of your life. So that's it. I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
I'm grateful.
I'm so glad that, you guys talked about changing your major, changing, what you thought you wanted to do. When I came to Clark, I thought I wanted to be a music producer. I had never done anything with music. I just knew I wanted to be here. And, I'm not sure if any of you raise your hand if you have heard this, but they may say, well, you went to a HBCU, so you're probably not going to get the same opportunities as everybody else. Have you heard that?
Yes.
And you see the women sitting up here, you see myself. I have literally worked for some of the biggest companies, some of the biggest media companies in the world, from TMZ to Warner Brothers Studios to radio stations. So please don't let anything hold you back or anybody tell you that because you chose this institution, because you chose an HBCU, that you can't do what everybody else can do. Because we're up here to show you that you can. You can absolutely do that. So talk to me about, your journey here. What is find a way or make one for you? What was that? What did that look like for you when you were here to get you to where you are right now?
When I was here as a student?
Yes.
Well, as I said, when I came here, I transferred. So it was just kind of figuring out what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be a journalist, but I didn't know what that meant. And I learned all about that through Mr. McJunkins and a lot of the other professors in the mass media arts department. And I think I would never have gone to Northwestern for graduate school if it hadn't been for a program that they had here at Clark. I never knew the Medill School of Journalism at Northwestern even existed until they had either, I'm not sure what it was. It was something where a lot of graduate schools came to campus and we could go and meet with them. And through that introduction, I met a woman at Northwestern, and she encouraged me to apply for a summer program that they had in Chicago. No, it was in Washington, D.C. And so I did that, and after that, I said, okay, I'm changing my major, or I wanted to change it, but I decided I wanted to be a broadcast student and go into broadcast, not print, after an internship with a newspaper. And then I ended up going to graduate school. But again, that would never have happened if I did not come to Clark. Yeah.
So I do get a lot of students that are mass media, and they say, well, I can't, how do I find a job?
Yeah.
So what was that? Was that internships for you? What do you encourage for people who want to be in the industry?
Internships are key, but it's also, you really have to apply yourself, because journalism is not just about what you learn in the classroom, it's about what you learn through experience. So being an intern, that's not just, I remember when I went to the National Association of Black Journalists Convention for the first time after I graduated. I had been on my job a month, and I walked up to the ABC News table, and there was a woman there, and I said, I want to work here. And she said, well, how long, she asked me, how long have I been working? And I said, well, I just graduated, and I've been working for a month. And she said, give it some time. But I had that confidence that I got, from being a student here. I was ready to just, you have to, because you know this, being in this business, you come across a lot of no's. You have to be persistent. I tell students all the time that will reach out to me, can you mentor me? Can you give me some advice? And I tell them, you have to be persistent with me because I'm busy. Don't leave it on me to call you and reach out to you. I think that's the main thing, is just having that drive in this business, because there's a lot of competition and you have to be ready. That's the main thing that I can say.
What about you? What do you think that you did here on this campus and at Spelman that got you to where you are today?
I think with Spelman and with Atlanta University and with the HBCUs, there is an expectation that you can do it and that you should do it. And so there is empowerment. You find empowerment and nurturing in a way that should strengthen your core when the rest of the world is telling you, you probably can't do that, or that's not the way you do it. You don't have to follow a pattern, but you've got to be prepared to go after the opportunity. And so there's the going after the opportunity, but you've got to be prepared to actually deliver once you get that opportunity. And I think Clark Atlanta University and the other HBCUs are giving students the support and the confidence that yes, you can. Your path may not be the traditional path, but yes, you can. You can do that.
So I definitely want people to know that it ain't easy. It's not easy to be successful. It's not easy to be here. When I was attending Clark Atlanta, I had to do a lot of sacrificing in order to intern. I had to do a lot of sacrificing in order to get where I am today. How do you fight through those trials and those tribulations when they're telling you no, especially as an African-American woman, in the industry especially?
Well, you can't listen to the no's. I remember my first job in the business was in Brunswick, Georgia. It was a small, family-owned television station. It was the only station in the market. And they were spending all this money on this and that, and they ended up running out of money, and they closed the stations. So we all lost our jobs, everybody. So here I was, my first job. I had been there for about a year, and I didn't know what I was going to do. So I remember I moved, of course, back home, and I filed for unemployment, and I was just trying to kind of figure out what am I going to do. And a friend of mine told me about a job in Lexington, Kentucky. And I was like, okay, I loaded up my car and I drove to Lexington, and I said, you know what, you gotta hire me. But I didn't call. I drove to the station. And on my way, I stopped in Knoxville, Tennessee to get an interview at my girlfriend's station. It was just like in this business, but I think in a lot of businesses, you just have to, you can't be I could have been crushed and said, you know what, let me just find another career path. Let me try something else. But I didn't. And, I got that job in Lexington, Kentucky. And that, that's where I really, from there I went to Houston, Texas. From there I went to CNN. From there I went to BET. So it was just like, for me, it was just, no doesn't really mean anything to me.
Hello?
You just have to kind of say, okay, you say no, maybe someone else will say yes.
What about for you? How is it? 'Cause you are a big wig at Coca-Cola. Like, you are it. How has it been for you on this journey?
Not every path is easy. Very few paths are easy. And if someone tells you that they've gotten everything they wanted when they wanted it, they're not telling you the truth.
That's the truth.
And, I didn't get every job I wanted. The odd thing is, I'd gone through many years in my career where I had gotten everything I went after. And I got to a point, and there was a job that I was invited to interview for. I was uniquely qualified for it. I didn't get it. I'd never experienced that before. And so you have to figure out, what do you do when your pattern changed, when your model changed? And sometimes you don't get things because you shouldn't get them at that time. Maybe you're not as prepared as you think. Or sometimes someone trips you up. So you can fall down. And sometimes you fall down because you fell down. Sometimes you fall down because someone tripped you. It doesn't matter, you fail. The important thing is, how do you get up and keep walking? And I say that, but that's not as easy as it seems, especially if you've always been moving pretty fast. But the important thing is to be able to get back up. Get back up. What do you want to do? Do it. Figure it out. And it's not always easy. But if you want it, you drive and go after what you want. And you might get a no. So what's your next course of action? So you have to decide, how bad do you want that? If it's easy, anyone can do it. So it's not going to always be easy, and you may fall, you may trip, get back up and figure out, what do I do next?
Thank you. So talk to me about what you're actually looking for as an experienced journalist, as someone who has been in the industry for a very long time, both industries. What are you looking for in someone to hire? We have a lot of students in here right now. I'm sure we're going to get quite a few emails, about internships, about jobs. What is it that you're looking for in this generation that's coming up? What qualities could you tell them right now while they're in school to help them get these jobs?
Well, I can tell you, in my office, we had this intern. She was an African-American, and she came to me the day before her last day on the internship. She never really said more to me than hi when we were working in the office. And, I would speak to her, but I wanted her to engage and ask questions and be assertive. And I saw her, she came to me and she was in tears, and she said that she felt like she didn't get anything out of the internship. And I sat her down and I said, well, Did you talk to people? Did you apply yourself? Did you ask for more? Did you say something? Like, why are you coming to me the day before your last day and saying this? And I would look for someone that, like, she is someone who I would not hire. I want someone who, we had another African-American woman in there, and a student, and this girl, she got on my nerves. She was in my face all the time. And I actually ended up hiring her because she was all, hi, how are you doing? What are you doing today? What are you working on? You know what I mean? That is the kind of person in this business that will go far. You have to, even if you're shy and a little introverted, in my business particularly, you have to pull yourself out of that and find a way to interact with people, especially when you're a student, especially when you're young. The thing that I tell students is everybody loves students. If there's anything that you think that, I tell you what I did when I was at Clark. We had a journalist come to our school and speak to us. And after, I asked her if I could go on her job and shadow her. No other student asked that, and no one told me to ask it. I said, I just want to go and see what it's like to be a TV reporter, because I was switching, in my mind, from print to broadcast. And so I went, and I spent the day with her on the job, but that was just because I asked her. And that's how you have to be successful. You have to kind of find your own way. You have to create your own path, and not wait for someone to tell you what to do. That's the kind of person that I'm looking to hire. And someone who is willing to go above and beyond. You know, like I had a summer program with students from Clark that a lot of people may know about, where I brought a group of students to New York City for the summer. And the students, it was a tough program. I called it a boot camp. It was an 8-week boot camp where the students had, and they were juniors and seniors, they had an 11 p.m. curfew. They could not drink any alcohol while they were there because they were my responsibility. They stayed in dorms. They had to produce my radio segments for Tom Joyner, which came on twice a week. They had to manage my social media. They had to help me research guests for the television show daily. They had to blog every day. They had to set up their own blogs and blog every day. And they also had, I put them each in internships. It was tough, but I was trying to give them an example of what it's like out there, what the real world is like, especially in this business. You have to be prepared to work not only in radio, you have to be on top of your social media game, and you have to be prepared, television, everything. And that's the thing, I'm looking for someone who is assertive, hardworking, and who's encouraged by adversity, not discouraged by it. That's the person that I want to hire, who's going to stand up and say, what else you got?
I was that annoying girl.
Yeah.
I was that girl. And we're not telling you to be annoying. There's a fine line between annoying and being assertive. But I am telling you that for my students, this is not your professor's life. This is not their career. This is not your mama. This is not her career. You have to want it, and you have to own it. So while I was here, I wasn't playing those games. Yeah. I was going to class, but I was at the radio station at night. You gonna hire me.
Yeah.
That was my life. So for everybody, if you're in here, please, please, please take notes, because she's telling you what to do to get a job. And so I would love to ask you the same question. As an executive, what are you looking for in young professionals?
You know, the Atlanta market is a tough job market because we have so many professionals. And you look across at the colleges and universities, everybody wants to stay here. And so it's a tough market. There's a lot of talent in Atlanta. I agree you have to go after things, but you've got to do the research to be better informed on what you're going after and why you are a fit for it. And so the internet is a wonderful tool to research, to apply for jobs, but to really understand, here are the people that are doing this, and here are their qualifications. So if this is a job that's based on public relations and community and communications, it's probably going to be hard for an accountant to get that job unless they can figure out how to adjust that. You can't figure that out by applying online. And that's how most jobs, that's how you get in the door right now on the internet. Coca-Cola gets 5,000 applications a day. A day. And so you have to figure out what makes me uniquely qualified for this particular position, and then go after it in a different way. But you have to figure out what works and how in that particular industry you go after that job. So you can use the internet to do the research, but you can also use it to figure out the people who are in this position, in these positions, in this department, and this company, what did they do? How did they get there? And I always encourage people, if they see people who are doing the things that they want to do, no matter what industry it's in, find out how they got there. What did they do? What was their experiences? So if you want to be Jackie Reed and she just told you her experiences, you can't assume that you can do less than to get there.
So I definitely want to get, does anyone have a question? Any of the students, do you have any questions? Any questions? Now y'all should have some questions. After all this good knowledge.
And there's not one question?
Not one question. Can you come up here real quick? Come on.
Okay.
Somebody come on. We on a time constraint. Amen. Yes. How you doing? What's your name?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is CAU-TV Burley, and I'm a freshman here at Clark Atlanta University. And first and foremost, I am more than honored to be here in the presence of all of you intelligent, brilliant people here today. I just have a quick question about what would you say if you could talk about being involved in extracurricular activities? You talked a little bit about internships, but also study abroad. I definitely feel like my ultimate goal is actually to have my own talk show. I'm currently a psychology major, but I plan to be the 21st century Oprah. Watch out for me. But if you ladies could tell me a little bit more about your goal here and how being involved outside of being in the classroom played a big role in getting to where you wanted to be.
So I would say that how I got here and what I did outside the classroom, I started to say it's different than what you would do now, but it maybe not. So when I was at Atlanta University, we had the benefit of having a lot of companies that came to recruit at Atlanta University. It was one of the few accredited graduate business schools in the country, and may have been maybe two that were primarily African American. So we were on some great recruiting schedules. But they kept coming because there was talent here. What's different now is there's a broader world, and you can do some other things. The international market was not what it was then, but it is now. And I will tell you, if you can figure out a study abroad program or an international opportunity, it will serve you well. You have to, at your age, you have to see the world as a comprehensive community. And so it may not be study abroad, but you could do a mission trip. You can do a number of different things that will change your view of how you live in this country. Because if you don't go outside this country, you don't understand that we are just a part of the world. We've been a powerhouse, but we are just a part of the world, and you really need that broader experience. When you look at the corporate world, people are looking for young people who can function globally, not just in the US. So you can do study abroad, but there are many, many different opportunities that you can figure out how to get outside the country and do something that is productive. And you can put it on your resume and talk about it.
I would agree with that. I think studying abroad is important, but I think with extracurricular activities, make sure that it's something that will make you stand out and that will look great on your resume. Traveling is key. I think volunteering is also, especially if you want to be a talk show host, so do millions of other people. What's going to make you stand out? What's going to make someone sit down and look at your resume and say, wow, you know what I mean? Pick activities that are going to expand your base of knowledge and expose you to something that everybody else is not exposed to. Definitely when it comes to languages, learn as many as you can. That's really important. But the main thing I tell students when they're looking for extracurricular activities to get involved with, because for me, by the time I transferred here, I didn't have time to play. I had to be in class, and when you're in, the journalism school, you're, constantly, if you're on the newspaper, I was working at WCLK, I was spending the nights here, you know what I mean? It's a lot of around-the-clock work. But as far as outside here, so I couldn't get involved in all of that, in a lot of extracurricular activities, unfortunately. But I tell young students that come to me all the time, make sure that you look for things that are going to not only enrich your life, but also impress people that you meet out there. I'll tell you about Mara Schiavocampo at ABC News. One thing that she did was she took a camera and went to the Middle East by herself. She went to some safe areas. And she interviewed people, like one-man banding it. That's when you have your own camera, own microphone, you're shooting and editing everything yourself. And she went out there and did interviews with people and put together stories and would send it to people. To this day, I don't think I've met a lot of journalists who have done something like that when they were young. And it puts her on the map. It got her in the door, and it opened so many doors for her because she had that initiative to just go and do something different. You know what I mean? Whether you start your own blog, doing that, and the different things that you can do if you want to be a talk show host specifically, and especially as a psychology major, what can you do out there that'll look great on that resume? Perfect. She has a YouTube channel coming up soon. Looking forward to that. See, and I love that. She said she wanted to get in touch with all three of us after this. That's something else that a lot of students don't do. A lot of people aren't going to tell you no. Ask. Ask for things.
Just ask.
A lot of young people are shy and afraid, but people want to help students. Know that. Take advantage of it. Be a little annoying. I'm telling you.
Don't be too annoying, just kind of
Well, listen, one thing I can say about adults, because I being one for a long time, people, we have our own stuff. Grown-ups have their own, we got to pay bills. Some of us have children, marriages we shouldn't be in, whatever, it goes on and on. We have our own issues. So you may come up to somebody who you admire and you want to, but they may be like, not today. Be persistent. I say be annoying, but don't be turned off, because you have to realize somebody that you want something from, they have a life too. They may have issues. Don't be turned off. Don't be deterred by that. Still, I say, be a little annoying. Keep it going. Don't be turned off by that. If somebody is like, get away from me, still come back. Consistency, yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you can have my information.
So we have 4 more questions. I want to get through them kind of quickly. What's your name?
My name is Nia Jones. I'm a junior mathematics and industrial engineering major from Washington, D.C. And my question for you guys is, as successful women in careers that are mostly male dominated, how do you deal with the stigma of women not being great leaders, and how do you overcome that, being successful and just being confident women in your respective careers? Great leaders, how do you overcome being an amazing woman leader in your executive positions?
So so I went to a girls' school. I went to Spelman College. That's not in my sphere that women won't be great leaders or achieve. It's interesting to me that in school, girls do very well academically. And to your point, when we get out, the guys move ahead. One of my observations is that we are so disciplined, women are so disciplined to do what we are supposed to do. And I've seen it because I have a son through another lens. Guys typically do what they think makes sense. So we will study and do things and turn in things because we are supposed to, and guys will say, why do I have to do that again? I already know how to do this. Now that doesn't play well in school because you get grades based on doing what you should do. But when you get out in the work world, you figure out, you get ahead by doing what makes sense and what's effective, not what's busy work. And so we have to look and figure out how we can be most effective as women and men, but not be stymied by what we've seen. I'm watching women do amazing things now. And I think the other thing is, and we saw it, I won't get political, but we saw it with the election, women need to help each other more. Sometimes we are our own worst enemy. And I think it is Madeleine Albright that said, there's a special place in hell for a woman that will not help a woman. And so, you know, that's probably what we should do. We should make it, all of us, make a special effort to help each other. I think it really is that simple.
I know we have a few more, so we're going to go to the next question. Thank you so much. How you doing? What's your name?
Hi, I'm Hunter Gilmore, and I am a junior mass media arts major, and I too aspire to be a journalist and an on-air talent. And my question to you ladies is, you talked so much about your accomplishments and how you got to where you are, but is there anything that you regret or wish you would have done differently along the way?
That's a good one.
I don't think so, because I think with every step that I've taken, and I think even with the mistakes that I've made, I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if I hadn't learned from those experiences. So I mean, I sit here and I've learned so much out here in this world, particularly from the mistakes that I've made. I think the thing that I would have probably done differently is when I was a student, I would have traveled more. I would have equipped myself. I can't say it enough. When you're a student, the world is yours. I would have asked for more. You know what I mean? I would have taken advantage. You know, it's just like when they asked the audience if you have any questions, and like not many hands went up. Whether or not you want to go into the fields that we're in, you still can take advantage of, you know, what all three of us have to give. So, you know, ask a question, stand out, you know. That's the thing that I would have done. I would have taken better advantage of being a student when I was. Yeah.
Thank you. And so this is our last question. What's your name? And then can you pass the mic to...
Hi, I'm China Kaysen. I'm a freshman mass media arts major with a concentration in PR from Montgomery, Alabama.
Hello, my name is Aaliyah Johnson. I am also a mass media arts major, sophomore, concentration in public relations.
Come on, mass media.
And our question is, since we are underclassmen, what are some of the things we can do as far as like looking for internships and things like that, because they're mostly towards juniors and seniors. So what can we do as underclassmen right now to get us prepared for those internships?
I'm going to answer this really quickly because I'm not trying to out the professor that did this for me, but I was a sophomore when I got my first internship. I wasn't supposed to, but I said, hey, I have this internship at B103. I need this. Could you do this for me? And though he wasn't supposed to, we had that relationship. And so I was finding a way or making one, period. I was not waiting, because in our industry, the more internships, the more experience, the better. So don't let anybody tell you, no, just wait a minute. If you feel like you're ready for it and you can handle it with your school load, do it. Don't wait, because our industry any industry is competitive. So you gotta be ready.
Are you talking about finding them? Finding actual internships?
Experience, internships, anything seeking, towards opportunities?
I mean, I would also, when you have free time on the weekends, I would volunteer to work at a local newspaper, a local radio station in town. And if Atlanta is too competitive of a market, drive to Macon, Georgia. You know what I mean? Go to Columbus, Georgia. Go to some of these markets that could use the help. I would try to figure out some kind of way to do something.
And WSTU and WCLK, get involved.
Yeah.
Get very, very involved, please. It's very, very competitive. Thank you so much, ladies. So I just want to have you ladies leave us with any closing remarks that you have for the students.
I mean, I guess the one thing that I can't stress enough is just taking advantage of this opportunity. This moment now is so important to so many of you, and it will be over like that. It seemed, and the seniors can attest to this. I mean, you're about to graduate, and didn't it go like that? It went by so fast. And once you're out of here, unless you're going to graduate school, it's time for the real deal. So while you are still here, even to the seniors, take advantage of not only on this campus, but out there in the world. Maybe there's somebody you want to meet. Maybe there's somebody you want to interview. If not for a class, just for yourself, somebody that you want to talk to, call them up. I'm a student at Clark Atlanta University. I'm about to graduate, or I graduate in 2 years, and I admire you, and I just want to learn a little bit about what it took to get you here. Call up somebody and try to meet people that inspire you. Take advantage of being a student. I'm telling you, you will be, I walk on this campus and I'm like, I was just here. Life goes so fast. Do not waste a minute of it.
And your closing remarks?
I would not prolong this, but simply echo, Jackie's exactly right. You are in an amazing institution, and take advantage of being here. You've got professors that care about your success. Sometimes that is displayed in tough love, and sometimes is displayed in a push or a pull. But take advantage of the opportunities that are afforded here. And I'm going to add to what Jackie says. Also, get to know your department chair, your professors. You got to make sure you've got someone that's going to speak for you. Who's going to speak for you? Because in any job, any internship, you got to provide a reference. So figure out how you do that and who speaks for you. The other thing, and I'll make it quick, eliminate distractions from your life. If it's not helping you get where you need to go, if they are not helping you live a life that is pleasing to you, eliminate the distractions. That may be liquor, sex, drugs. We call it LSD, liquor, sex, drugs. Or it could be people who are distractions for you. But eliminate the distractions and keep it moving.
Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you. Please give them a round of applause. Miss Helen Smith-Price and Miss Jackie Reed.
You could stay. You could stay. I'd like to begin by noting that the students who came forward with questions, the students who came forward with questions represents what it is that we're trying to do here at this university. What we want to do is we want to produce graduates who are, thank you, graduates who are independent thinkers, independent learners. And one sign of being an independent thinker and independent learner is always show up in your class with a question, and when you leave, you have a question. And that means that you're going to be committed to continuing learning. Ladies, you have inspired us today, and you've encouraged us. Your wisdom speaks volumes about the sterling character and caliber of the CAU pedigree. You have fortified our resolve, and we thank you for sharing your insights and your counsel with us, both of which will remain with us long after today. Please accept these handcrafted Frable studio sculptures depicting our university theme, Lifting Every Voice. Each one of these has been acquired by CAU for presentation as a token of our gratitude and appreciation. And now, as we get ready to conclude today's gathering, the Clark Atlanta University Philharmonic Society will perform Jai Ho. The song title is a Hindu phrase that translates into "Let the victory prevail," or "Let the victory be yours." The composition was the theme song of the 2008 film Slumdog Millionaire, and is especially fitting as we close this momentous day. Following the choir's performance, Dr. Powell will direct you to stand for the singing of the first verses of our three alma maters. You'll find the words for Atlanta University, Clark College, and Clark Atlanta University alma maters in your program. And now, the Clark Atlanta University Philharmonic Society perform Jai Ho.
Dina, taka dina, taka din, dina, dina. Dina, taka dina, taka din, dina, dina. Dina, taka dina, taka din, dina, dina. Dina, taka dina, taka din, dina, taka din, da, do. Zadimi aja aja jinde shami ane ke tale aja zari wale mine asamana ke tale Jayo Jayo Zadimi aja aja jinde shami ane ke tale aja zari wale mine asamana ke tale Jayo tin ta tin ta ta tin ta tin ta ta tin ta tin ta ta tin ta Jayo Jayo
Ahora conmigo, su bala para hoy por estos días de movidas, los problemas, los que sean. Salud, bala, bala. Oh, dia, dia, karia, rakale, kala, kala, kaja, tera, koi, kala, jadu, hena. Kala, kala, kaja, tera, koi, kala, jadu, hena. Kaja, aja, jinda, shami, ane, ketale, aja, sari, wale, nile, ane, mane, ketale. Takadim, takadim, takadim. Takadim, takadim, takadum. Atlanta, school we love, deeply graven on each heart. We, thy faithful sons and daughters, pledge to be our part. There's a school on our hill that we love good and true, with a love that enlightens our souls through and
Let us prepare to receive the benediction, which will be followed by our recessional. Let us pray. God of grace and peace, we go forth from this place, but never from your presence. Thank you for the foundation of faith on which this institution was founded and stands. Help us to continue to live into the history and herstory of spirit-filled leading, unending learning, and unimaginable innovation. Give us your strength when we get weary. Give us rest in the midst of our labor. Provide light for our paths to find a way or to make a way. Grace in the time of trials. Undying love for students, and collegial collaboration. Most of all, dear God, we ask for help from above and from within as we lift our voices for justice, integrity, and spirit-filled ability. May peace be our constant companion, justice our constant pursuit, and thankfulness our way of being. In the name of the one who first loved us, amen and amen.